I mean, compared to the arenas that hasn't been like that all year.
Yeah, that was great. It's so exciting to play in front of our fans, and when they're into it, we're into it. It's fun to score goals and see them get a little rowdy there. So, like I said, we owe a lot of our success to them.
And I'm sure somebody else could talk about your role there.
Yeah, I mean, I know it went off Maddie for sure. I'm not sure what happened after. I just saw the puck in the back of the net, so we'll take it.
Cam, that was kind of grown-ass man hockey out there today. Did it feel like that for you guys? I mean, not a playoff game, but it kind of felt like it in the booth anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I felt like that was the playoff game, and, like I said, those are the games that players like to play in. And most important thing is we got 2 points, and we're moving on to Minnesota.
Kind of you and Joey's first time through in this 4A for the playoffs. Was it cool to get on the score sheet and get in the net?
Yeah, it's always nice to help the team and help the team win. And we've got a tough stretch, and we got to keep this thing rolling.
What will this 6-game road trip prove?
What will it prove?
Yeah.
I think we're going to start with Minnesota, but it's obviously huge. We're still obviously fighting for that last spot, and as long as we get the 2 points, that's all that matters. So we're going to keep moving up, and it's going to be another battle tomorrow. And tomorrow's the next most important game.
I'm curious, going back to after we spoke, going into the second period, Richard said that you guys had to play faster both in your minds and your legs. Is that what happened to be able to score 3 goals in the second, third combined?
Yeah, for sure. I think, we got a lot of penalties, and I think that has to do with not moving our feet. And as soon as we move our feet and get the forecheck going and bang those big D that they got, we got some turnovers and just capitalized for sure.
Cam, can you talk about what's going to take on the road now? You can't just survive. You have to really get it done, right?
It's always tough playing on the road, but we're excited. We're excited for sure. We want to make playoffs, and that's the first step. And obviously, our final goal is to win the Stanley Cup. So we're not just satisfied with making playoffs, but it's going to be a tough stretch, and looking forward to it.
Have you seen many sold-out games here in April?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's as long as the building's hopping, and they were for sure into the game from the start of the drop of the puck. So we'll take it, and we owe a lot of our success to them.
Cam, you had that the feed to Marion. You got the breakaway. It was like you shot out of a rocket. How much fun is it to have that guy out there with you?
It's pretty exciting to watch him. He with his speed just backs off their D so much and generates so much offense just with his speed, and his skill is. I mean, it's crazy. It's fun to watch on the bench, and I wish he scored that one, though.
In that second period, how would you rate that?
More fun beating a team in your own division. And, we've had some good battles with St. Louis, and they've kind of had our number this year, so it was nice to finally beat them.
Ryan, they're physical games you guys are playing. When you get in that situation, it's highly competitive. Everybody knows what you're trying to make a playoff push. How much do you fight against that? How much do you try to compress it and try to stay focused on what you want to accomplish and not take bad penalties, those kind of things?
That's the big thing. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the games out there, and you guys can see it in the scrums, or if maybe it's a missed call or something. You just gotta keep that level of focus. And I thought at the end of the game we kind of got a little careless and took a couple dumb penalties, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And like I said, you just gotta keep your focus for a full 60, and hopefully you get the results.
Ryan, you and Cam, kind of your first foray into, I mean, it wasn't a playoff game, but it probably felt like it. Did it feel good to contribute the way you guys did and get it in the back of the net?
Definitely. It's always fun contributing to the team, and it always feels good scoring a goal, and it was a couple big goals for our team. So, I'm sure we're both happy with that.
That seemed like a grown man game out there. Did it feel like Stanley Cup?
Yeah, like you said, I noticed it right away. And we were saying in the intermission, and coach came in and said, "This is a man's game tonight." And it was a lot of fun out there. I had a great time, and our team played a great 60-minute game, and that's what we're going to need down the stretch.
I haven't been here for a little while.
It's thrown around maybe too often, playoff hockey, but did this feel exactly like that to you tonight? The atmosphere, the pace, the intensity?
There were lots of things about this game that reminded me of playoff hockey, and for me it's been a long time too long, being involved in playoff games. But to me it was the speed, it was the intensity. I think the environment, just our building in general, because the crowd was into it too. Had some nastiness to it. Again, it was for me. It was a great hockey game. It was an enjoyable game. Obviously, you can enjoy it a little bit more because we were able to come up with 2 points. But for me, it was didn't like the way we started so much. But I think you got to credit St. Louis and how they came out and played. We were watching instead of playing the game. And I think once we started to get into it, once we got our legs, it became a really good game.
Todd, the two young guys, 13 and 19, getting in on the goal scoring, kind of their first foray into this, as Porty said, into that playoff hockey. Were you impressed? And Calvert was obviously all over everything. Was it fun to see these young guys really respond in a game like this?
There was also Dalton Prout on the back end too. So all of our young guys, and they've been really good all year. And to me, playing in these games is a great learning experience because the pace is faster, the intensity is there. And we got contributions from our young guys. Again, we had some guys at the start kind of tiptoeing into the game. By the second period, I think we were all into it. And obviously the second period was the difference. Third period, I thought we were so-so. We didn't manage it probably as well as we should have. But, found a way to win a big hockey game.
Coach, to that end on the second period, with Bob withstanding that surge in the first period, do you think it was a case of maybe St. Louis coming off playing the night before with all that adrenaline early, that maybe they kind of punched themselves out?
I agree 100% with you. I believe sometimes it's easier in these back-to-backs. We had 2 days off that the timing is there, the adrenaline, the energy is there because they had played the previous night. And then it starts to wear off a little bit. And again, we were able, as you said, Bob kind of withheld the fort and until the troops arrived. And once we got into it, again, it became a pretty even game, and obviously we were able to capitalize on our opportunities.
Todd, these games just seem to grow more physical as we go along. And how much do you try to manage that with your players? You want them to be physical, you want them to be all in a game, but managing against, taking bad penalties and those kind of things that can bring you down.
It's that emotional line you have to walk, and it's it's getting to that level without becoming undisciplined. And I really thought that we were okay with it. I mean, Bowler takes one early, but we want guys to finish checks. They're going to make the call every now and then. They made the call. Again, it was one of those games. Lots of intensity, lots of physicality. That's what you want. And I think our players, again, once they got into it, the team toughness, the guys sticking together, and you want to see how your team's going to react sometimes in these intense games when there's scrums and those things going on. And what I liked to see from the bench was the guys jumping in for each other and really having each other's back.
You guys are going on your last road trip of the season, obviously the most important one as well. This is your season right here. How do you maintain the energy and the compete level that you guys have at home and carrying it on the road? I mean, just especially with the young guys, just keeping that going here on the road.
This is a good way to start right here. Confidence-wise, energy-wise. Again, hope and believe is two powerful things. And right now, the guys in that room feel that. It starts tomorrow night. We can't get ahead of ourselves. I think everyone knows what's ahead of us, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't start thinking about Colorado, LA. We got to focus on Minnesota. There's a huge 2 points on the line, and based off of this game, hopefully this will springboard us a little bit, and in the intensity. A big test for our team tomorrow is going to be, can we reach the same emotional level? Because Minnesota's, they're a desperate team, and they're fighting for points, and not only where they are in the standings, but they got some teams starting to creep up on them. So this is a huge 2 points for them, and we have to try to get to that same emotional level that we had tonight.
You switched up. It looked like all of your guys remained fairly healthy throughout the game. Your centers had different line mates a lot. What was the thinking, the theory behind that?
There was no thinking. No, you can write that. There was no thinking. All it was looking on the bench and finding numbers and sending them out.
Why that?
Because the other way wasn't working, meaning having lines. So it was just, honestly, it was looking down the bench and picking a couple guys. And I think we were coming out of penalties. There were some situations that were going on, and I found that maybe a centerman was out on the ice, so it was kind of screwing up the combinations. And I literally was just looking for guys that were fresh. And then we started to go. And once I started to find the combinations, or I should say the combinations started to work themselves out, that's when I stuck with them. But it was a crapshoot behind the bench. I was rolling dice.
Todd, what does this game say about this team tonight, given the fact that the Blues had come into this building with 3 straight shutouts? Just what does it say about your team tonight that they were able to break that?
It says a lot about our group. I think it was also just, scoring goals, yes, because they had 3 games in a row with shutouts, but it was the style of game it was. And, again, the physicality, the intensity, the speed of it. And we're a young team. We got a young group. And I liked the way we battled and competed. And a huge game for us, an emotional game. And again, the building was great. It was great. The fans were into it. It was loud. And we gave them a reason to get up and cheer. It didn't start off probably the right way that we wanted it to, but eventually we worked into it. And again, the environment was great.
Nisimov and Gabrick playing together. Obviously, they played together in New York, but are you pleasantly surprised that how quickly they were able to regain that chemistry here and they continue to just flourish each game?
I think that's still building that chemistry, but they're Gabby's a dynamic player with his speed and his vision and those things, and you're starting to see, well, we've seen it this year, but good player, and you start surrounding with really good players, and those game break type players starts to bring out the best in the other players. And it's not just that, it's on the back end. I think we saw it last year when we brought Jack in. You can see how he starts to affect other people. That's what the great players do. Great players make the other players better around them. Thanks.
It just keeps us moving in the right direction in the standings. We're trying to get that 8th spot.
Did it invigorate you to see the way your team responded tonight?
Oh, I thought our team, responded in the proper way. This was a must-win game at home, and gets us off on the road trip on the right foot.
What is your take on the road now? Just trying to survive that thing.
Well, we got to do more than survive. We have to take control on the road, and there's no reason why you can't play well on the road. It's still the same hockey game. The rules don't change. Dimensions of the ice are the same, and we have to be exceptional on the road here.
Jack, the way they responded, you guys responded just in general. After the slow start, it seemed like skating circles around you guys. You guys were able to solve that. Was it something set on the bench like, hey, let's get this going, or? No,
there's still way too much time left to be played. I mean, they got a fluky goal, to start the game, and that's not going to derail a hockey team. You got 20 guys in here that really believe and care, and when that happens, it's a tough team to beat.
Jack, that was grown-ass man hockey out there is what that was.
Yep.
That felt like a playoff game. Did it feel like that way to you guys? I guess in a way it kind of is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is the time of the year where every team is scratching and clawing for points, and no one's going to take anyone lightly, and yeah, I mean, it might as well be a playoff game.
How about the 2 youngsters, 19 and 13, getting in the net in their kind of first foray into all of this?
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, that's what we need, and they know what's ahead of them here this at the end of the year here, and I don't think that they're going to shy away from anything.
How about 10 on the goal? I mean, that's a pretty high skill level.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. He's a goal scorer, and we need him to score goals. And every guy brings something different to the table, and we need everyone to bring it.
Was that as fun? This has got to be fun.
Yeah,
I know they're pressure packed, but this has got to be enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a gratifying feeling to get rewarded for your hard work, but we've got a quick turnaround here. We got a tough game in St. Paul tomorrow night.